Hello, all you coin aficionados out there, and welcome again to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we have two coins for you from Australia. We have two $2 coins for you from Australia, and we want to talk a little bit about how come Australia started producing a $2 coin and what they look like and how they've done it. But first, I want to talk to you a little bit about the background we have here. And many of you have never seen this background or only seen it in pictures and not seen it set up like this. And if we look at the background, if I can pull up a little bit and get these coins out of the way, I think you can see what the background is, and that's the old Australia $1 bill, paper dollar bill. And what happened was that Australia decided that because of the way that the $1 bill was getting worn and torn, that it would no longer have the $1 bill. And let's look at this. So it has the queen on the front. Facing to the left is an emu and a kangaroo in the shield of Australia. It says Australia at the top, 1-1, has the serial numbers. One of the things that makes these bills very valuable, if they're valuable, is the signatures of the Treasury Director and the so this is the Secretary of the Treasury signature. This is the Governor of Reserve Bank of Australia. This bill, if it is in uncirculated condition, if it hasn't been used, is worth between $20 and $70 depending on who signed as the governor and who signed as the Secretary to the Treasury. And so it can be a very valuable bill, but if we look at it even just in this condition, we see just how beat up it is. And the government of Australia just said, look, it's costing us more to make these bills than they're really worth to us, so let's do something different. And that's when they shifted to the coins. And if we look at the back of this $1 bill, it's just a beautiful $1 bill. It has a lot of the indigenous Australian symbols on there. You pardon me, I don't know any of the tribal or clan symbols for Australia's indigenous people, but that's what these designs are here. And if we then go back and look at the coins, we see that that's what they've done on the coins also. So let's get this stand out of the way and put in my other stand so we can actually focus in on here. And we can see that we have the indigenous Australian over here on the left, kind of the wise elder. We have the 5 stars from the Southern Cross, and then we have the some of the indigenous plants here. It says 2 with dollars on it. Has a funny edge on it. It has reeded sections around the outside of the edge and then smooth in between. And each of these reeded sections is a 5-groove reeded section. So when we turn it over, you'll see that, again, we just have the queen on the front, and then we'll turn this one over to 2006, and exact same back on the 2001 and 2006. When we look at the makeup of this coin, we see that it's an aluminum bronze coin, and you can kind of tell maybe by the coloring on it, it's kind of a browner color, like almost not quite copper, but more brassy. It is 6.6 grams in weight, 20.5 millimeters in diameter, and 3.2 millimeters thick. And if we look at the reeded segments, there are 4 of them around the coin. 2, 3, 4 as you go around the coin. And then smooth in between. It feels kind of like a heavy coin because it's so small, I think. It's kind of small, compact, and kind of thick. If we put the US penny over the top, we see it's a little bit bigger than the US penny. But if we put a Canadian nickel over the top, we see that the Canadian nickel is bigger. So it's a small coin. It's a little bit bigger than the US penny. It's worth $2 Australian, and it has saved the Australian government lots and lots of money in terms of printing paper bills. Now, what Australia did for some of the higher denomination bills, which they still use, is they've gone to kind of a plastic kind of bill, which is really, really hard to tear, and it takes the use better, I think, than the paper money bills did before. Okay, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Hopefully you'll subscribe to our channel, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comments section